Hello guys, this video is going to be all about democracy. Once Abraham Lincoln, a US president, has called democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people. So first we start from where the word democracy is derived. The word democracy is derived from the Greek word demos, which means people. The next part of this word is kratos, which means power or rule. Democracy is mainly based on equity and inclusiveness. It means responsive government and active participation of citizens. Early form of democracy began around 2500 years ago. So what is the meaning of democracy? Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. So here the question arises, who are the rulers? What kind of election? And who are the people who choose the rulers? And what kind of form of government it is? First we study about the features of democracy. In a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those who elected by the people. Second, a democracy must be based on a free and fair election where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. Third, in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and one vote, or each vote must have one value. Next, a democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' right. Another one, the opposition parties are allowed to function freely before and after the election. And the last feature of the democracy is the democratic government are based on fundamental principles of political equality. So what is democracy? Is any another definition of democracy? Yes. Democracy is a form of government where all eligible citizens can cast a vote to choose their representatives in the government. Democracy is a type of political system or a system of decision making within an institution or organization, etc., in which all the members have equal shares of power. According to Oxford Dictionary, a system of government in which all the people of a state or polity are involved in the decision about its affairs, typically by voting to elect a representative to a parliament or similar assembly. Let's study about the merits of democracy. A democratic government is a better government because it is more accountable form of government. Democracy improves the quality of decision making. Democracy provides a method to deal with differences and conflicts. It is suitable to countries like India. India having diversity of language, religion and cultures. Democracy in India made it possible to keep unity in diversity. In a democracy, no one is a permanent winner or loser. Democracy is a better than forms of government because it allows us to correct its own mistakes. Democracy enhances the dignity of citizens because it is based on the principles of political equality, on recognizing that the poorest and least educated have the same status as the rich and the educated. Next, what are the demerits or the drawbacks of democracy? Leaders keep changing in a democracy. This leads to instability. Democracy is all about political competition and power play. There is no scope for morality. Elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people. It leads to bad decisions. Democracy leads to corruption for it is based on electoral competition. Ordinary people don't know what is good for them. They should not decide anything. Next, let's study about the comparison between democratic and non-democratic forms of government. Like India is a democratic country, but Saudi Arabia, Zimbabwe, China, they are not the democratic country. In democratic country, there is a freedom of expression and people enjoy their fundamental rights. But in non-democratic government, there is no freedom of expression and people do not enjoy their fundamental rights. If we talk about democracy, it is of two types. In first, we discuss the first one, which is direct democracy. It is a political setup where the people themselves make the laws and parliament directly in the functioning of the government. Decisions are taken on the basis of the majority of opinion. It is suitable for the geographically small countries with less population. Example, ancient Greek, Rome and India. And if you talk about modern period, it is Switzerland. In direct democracy, in the modern world, most of the countries are following the indirect democracy. It is a system in which representatives are elected by the people and they act on behalf of the people. They are so sensitive to cater the needs and opinion of the people. Examples are India, France, USA. Next, what is the aims of good democracy? True democracy will come to this country only when no one goes hungry to bed. In a democracy, every citizen must be able to play equal role in decision making. For this, you don't need just an equal right to vote. Every citizen needs to have equal information, basic education, equal resources, and a lot of commitment. India is a democratic country. People of democracy is that the government of the state is carried out with the cooperation and consent of the people. Let's study about the democracy in India. As we know, India is the seventh largest and the second most country in the world by roughly one-sixth of its population of about a billion and a quarter. It is world's largest democracy. It is one of the world's oldest civilization yet, a very young nation. Elections to its parliament are held only once every 5 years. Currently, Prime Minister PM Modi, Narendra Damodar Das Modi, is the head of the government, enjoying a majority in the parliament, while the President Ram Nath Kovind is the head of state. India is a constitutional republic governed under the world's longest written constitution, federally consisting of 29 states and 7 centrally administered union territories, with New Delhi as the nation's capital. The country has 6 main national parties: the INC, Indian National Congress, BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, CPI, Communist Party of India, CPIM, Communist Party of India, Marxist, BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party, and NCP, National Communist Party. If you talk about democracy in India, so Indian democracy system is based on the following factors, like it is the largest democracy, it has DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy, federalism, distributive powers, law enforcement, elected representatives, political parties, and very important, fundamental rights. Next, what is the government system of India? In India, all eligible citizens vote for their representatives in the government who serves for 5 years until next elections. We have two types of government majorly: state government and national government. A state government which serves the state in a 5-year term. Individuals are MLA, members of Legislative Assembly, belonging to political party or independently contesting from constituencies are elected by citizens, and if they get majority of the areas, then they win the election and the CM of the state comes from their party. Next, national government which serves the whole nation on a 5-year term. Here the individuals are MP, means member of parliament, belonging to a political party from areas in which the country are elected by citizens. If a political party gets majority of the seats, then they can serve the country for 5 years and the PM of the country comes from their party. The Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 constituencies chosen by the direct election. President can nominate 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community. Each constituency has roughly equal population living within it. The members elected from each constituency is called Member of Parliament or MP. Each state is subdivided into assembly constituencies. The elected representatives are called Member of Legislative Assembly or MLA. Each village or town is subdivided into wards. Thus, each parliamentary constituency has within its several assembly constituencies, within which are several wards. The Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha or Council of States is the upper house of the Parliament of India. Membership is limited to 250 members, 12 of whom are nominated by the President of India for their contribution to art, literature, science and social services. The remainder of the body is elected by the state and territorial legislature indirectly. Members sit for 6-year terms, with 1/3 of the members retiring every 2 years. Now the political system. Since India is a federal state with its central government and the capital in New Delhi, which India comprises of 29 states and 7 union territories. Executive comprises of President, Vice President and the Council of Ministers. All the executive powers are vested in President, who acts on the advice on the Council of Ministers. Prime Minister is the leader of majority party and the Parliament who heads the Council of Ministers. Second is Judiciary. Honorable Supreme Court comprises of Chief Justice and 25 other judges appointed by the President. Judges hold the office till 65 years of age. President may consult the Supreme Court or any question of factor law of public importance. Third one, legislature. Parliament has the power to make laws for the whole or any part of territory of India. List 1 of the Constitution. State legislature has the power to make the laws for the states. List 2 of the Constitution. List 3, combining Parliament and state legislature. Political institutions. Parliament comprises of 2 houses, as we have discussed, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is called the lower house, elected directly by the people of India. It has 545 seats, 2 of which are elected or selected by President, which represent Anglo-Indian community. Head of the Lok Sabha is elected by the MPs. So this was the whole and all about democracy. Thank you.